What's up, everybody? Tigger here. Tigger Toy Time Machine's taking us back to 1987. We're going to take another look at Star Trek The Next Generation. We're going to talk about the Borg. We're going to unbox them. And we're going to unbox Borg Captain Picard, known as Locutus. I hope I'm saying that right. What's up, everybody? Doing our first show from the new studio, aka the back of the garage. Like I said, we're going to check out a little Star Trek The Next Generation with the Borg and with Captain Jean-Luc Picard and his Locutus, I can't even say it right, form. Captain Picard, I'm going to go out on a limb and say his most hated enemy in all the universe is the Borg.
I will not sacrifice the Enterprise. We've made too many compromises already, too many retreats. They invade our space, and we fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther. I will make them pay for what they've done.
The Borg are one of the cooler enemies in all of sci-fi. But they may be a slight retake on some other people's ideas. There's actually a Borg type cyborg figure in a toy line called Captain Power. Captain Power is actually really cool. But we're not going to go into all that. That'll be another video. And then, another kind of the cyborg men from Doctor Who. But we're going to go ahead and take a look. The Borg are much more popular than those other ones because Star Trek is such mainstream events. So, the famous saying, resistance is futile, that comes from the Borg. The Borg are pretty much, even though they're mechanical, infused with human and alien bodies and things like that, and flesh, they're a hive mind, kind of like bugs. They have one goal, that is to grow the hive. They don't care about feelings, anything like that. All they're trying to do is assimilate, and take over. So, first one we'll look at is the actual full-out Borg figure. You gotta love it when somebody sells you something and they cut the side open already just to take a card out. So, unboxing these won't be that big of a deal, because we all know how I feel about unboxing stuff, because I was in such a mindset for a long time, mint on card. So it's not too hard to take them out. Again, this is just your regular old standard Borg. Pretty cool, pretty well articulated. These are actually both from the exact same line of Star Trek The Next Generation. So what year do we got on the actual? So this is the 92. If you're into collecting, a big thing on the back of the card is how many people on the back. This is a 10 back. Actually has the full file card right there, the Borg. I'm not going to read all that, but it is up here long enough where you can take a screenshot and you can check it out. I really enjoy Star Trek The Next Generation, but I have not fully watched the series. I might go back and do that, but let's go ahead and check out the Borg. 1992, a lot of toys were still not very posable at all. I just did a video on some 95 Batman figures that don't do anything. These are actually pretty well articulated. I get used to this new angle. I'm used to everything going to my right up there, and we're a little closer. So some good articulation. It's got the hoses. That's pretty neat right there. One's already popping out. Um, you know, these are, how old are these? These are 33 years old. No movement on the wrists, but his, I'm sorry, I don't know what they actually call the arm there with all the Borg electronics on it, but it has a turret type cannon that moves side to side, and it does rotate all the way around. Pinned elbows, get a little bit of movement with the arms, enough to actually, you know, get some good posing and actually playing with them. Waist does move a little, but we're not going to move it too much. There's another hose that's already popped out right there. We're going to go ahead and just take these hoses off. At least they actually come out nice and easy where we're not destroying them. Well, that one doesn't come out at all. So that one doesn't come out at all either. All right. Well, those two came out. So and now the feet are kind of staggered, which I don't like at all when they give you that staggered look right there where you can only sit them down one way or stand them one way. But later in the 90s, Todd McFarlane kind of revolutionized the toy business. And if somebody doesn't agree with me, it's okay. You can tell me that. But I just, as a teen in the 90s, I just remember when Spawn figures came out and they were much more articulated. Now, the original Spawn was not all that mobile, but they were much more articulated. Then as we went on, you know, like some of our other figures, you know, have movable toes, ankles, everything, 30 points of articulation. Let's see what we got in here with the Borg as far as accessories. It has a couple different detachments right here. It looks like a flamethrower of some sort. A little spot for the hose to hook into it. I'm going to save my new spot here at the camera. I think it does make it a little better for you guys to see everything. That's a regular hand with a claw-looking spear type thing. So I don't think both arms pop off. But I was going to check real quick. So that one pops off pretty easy. Again, this looks like some sort of flamethrower or maybe stun type weapon. Not the easiest thing to put on. Pretty sweet right there. Like I said, this is a pretty impressive figure for 1992. We got a whole lot of stiff stuff. I said, this is what we got as a retro remake based on 95 out of Batman, and he didn't do anything. He didn't come with any weapons, so pretty disappointing. All right, let's take this one off. They are not easy to take off. Popping them in right there. It actually has a second hand. Pretty sweet. Doesn't have his name on his stand, but hey, it'll be all right. We're going to put him on the stand right there. Stands up pretty well. All right. We'll go ahead and slide him over. And we'll move on to the man, the myth, the legend, Jean-Luc Picard. And again, all you people who are really big Star Trek fans, you're more than welcome to go in the comments and tell me I can't read correctly or pronounce anything right, because I can't. So, Locutus, again, I'm not a huge Trekkie, but I do enjoy Star Trek. Oh, well, whatever. This is 93, so it's 1 year later. And on this one, we actually have let me make sure I count right here. 6, 12, 15 back. All right. And then we'll get the card right up there in case anybody wants to take a screenshot and read it all out. Somebody was also kind of sorry with this one. They cut it open just to take a trading card out of the back there and retaped it. But the figure does look like he's intact. So let's open it up. Like I said, all I got to do is cut a little bit of tape. The lengths people will go through to steal something out of a package. I do keep the card still. That's my OCD. All right, Captain Picard Locutus. That might be the right way to pronounce it. That sounds a little better. It sounds like I've ever actually went to school and graduated from college and have a master's degree. You wouldn't believe all that if you didn't know me. So we'll go ahead and get all his accessories out and start off with. All right. So let's see here. Jean-Luc is it actually is a different torso, so they didn't just straight up, use the exact same torso. Much, different face, things like that. One thing that's always comical, if you know anything about Star Wars, they talk about monkey face Princess Leia because they didn't want to do different molds. So, guy's got a little thicker of a chest, but Picard's got a little wider shoulders. Picard's actually got flat feet. So it'll be a lot easier to stand up. His hoses were already actually off, which is pretty good. They got a hose spot right there. Keep going to the left of the camera there. Let's see here. Do we got any other ones on him? Looks like right there on the back of his arm, you got another little hose spot right there. You got the hoses that are already on him, one on his leg. Again, arms move, elbows move, wrists and all don't turn at all. Head moves not very much at all. Got another hose on his face. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't know the extent and the process, how long the storyline was in the show that, he went from being a Borg to getting himself back to being Captain Picard. Again, I need to go back and watch the series. But his arm actually pops off a little easier. He's got a full hand right there that's not like a foot longer than the other one, like on the regular Borg. And I'm not sure. Can you take his other arm? Oh, wow. Okay, so you can take both Captain Picard's arms off, and he can have robot hands in both hands, which I think this is probably the way I would display him. Be like this. So we're gonna grab regular Captain Picard real quick, put them next to each other. Tells definitely a different model line. I believe this, if I remember correctly, was the '97 model line with the movie First Contact, maybe. So a little taller. If you're robotly enhanced, you'd probably be taller than normal self. So it's a little bit bigger figure, a little more mobile figure, which is normal because progression had started at that time again with kind of the Spawn figures and things being much more detailed. So cool figs. Captain Picard's actually got his name on there, Locutus. Again, if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. I promise I am educated, but sometimes you probably don't believe that. So, sweet. Go ahead and grab Mr. Worf just so we can have the whole gang. All right. So, got a little battle going on here. Got to look like this. Said Mr. Worf, the newer Picard, these are a little newer, so they're a little taller. Appreciate you watching my videos. I hope you enjoyed our little trip on the time machine back to 1987, checking out some figures, Locutus, Captain Picard, and just regular Borg. Everybody have a wonderful day. Tinker out.